Welcome to episode 15 of Two Guys, One Sport. My name is Chris.
I'm George. Hi, everybody. Happy Friday. We are back in our usual time slot.
Yep, and we've made it to 15. We still haven't been shut down.
No, it's great.
So
we're full-fledged teenagers. We're like ready for high school.
we're making it to the big time.
That's it.
Sort
We're
of.
moving on up.
Yeah.
And as always, we thank all of our ladies and gentlemen who like to listen and banter with us on CageSideSeats.com, your one-stop shop for wrestling news and banter.
Yeah. It's going to be a good night tonight. We've got a lot of New Japan coverage to talk about with Dominion having just passed this Sunday and the G1 specials in Long Beach coming up soon. And we've also got a full preview of Money in the Bank. That's pretty much going to be the whole of the show because those are some pretty big events.
Excuse me. I didn't sneeze all over your ear. Well, not literally. Weird, but sneeze all over your metaphorical ear. But yeah, that's it. We got match of the week. We have a kick-ass New Japan show and a Money in the Bank show that will be much less kick-ass.
Exactly. And we did something a little different this week. I gave George his match of the week to watch, and he gave me a match of the week to watch. So I want to let you go first because I really want to hear your detailed thoughts on this.
I just watched mine, as you were aware. I was texting you like an hour ago. My match was, I'm going to get these names wrong. Io Shirai. Say the names.
Yeah, it was Io Shirai versus Miko Satomura from December of 2015. World of Stardom title match.
Okay. Now, I am not the Joshi fan that you are.
Right.
I am not anywhere near as experienced in this type of environment as you are. Not that you're super experienced. You have never, as far as I know, you've never flown out to Cork and Hall to watch a women's wrestling match.
Not yet, but
soon,
it'll happen
soon. So with the women's network, with the women's tournament coming up, and the all but signed, sealed, and delivered deliverance of Io Shirai to WWE, Brother Chris was nice enough to suggest one of her best matches, and holy goddamn, one of her best matches.
Yeah.
She looks younger, far younger than she should. I mean, it was, 18 months ago? She's all prettied up. She's very babyfacey in almost the literal sense of the word. But one of the things you notice right away is the pageantry. She has the Asuka mask, for lack of a better term, and her opponent has this cool, huge kimono that just makes her look just so powerful and so big and powerful. And her opponent goes for the handshake, and Io's like, "Nope, no handshake for you. I am the young upstart, and you are the cocky veteran." And if I could pick one word to describe this wrestling match, it would be stiff as fuck.
Oh yeah.
3 words. Chris, I'm not going to lie, there were at least 4 or 5 times I yelled, "Holy shit," on some of the bumps. There was one bump where Io was standing on the top rope going for a springboard something, and the other girl just kicks her in the head and she falls all the way to the floor.
Mm-hmm.
There were multiple shoe kicks to the chest, back, head, face. There were a few times where Io, I thought, was going to drop kick the other lady's face off, or at least trying to. Go back and forth. First of all, John Cena, take notes as to how an STFU should properly look. Because, that was pretty great.
Yeah.
One of the fun things about women's wrestling matches is that because of their innate flexibility, submission mat moves look unbelievably painful. I mean, I'm sure you've seen the gif of Natalya beating Melina up with her own leg. Or, excuse me, Beth Phoenix beating Melina up with her own leg.
Yep.
And this was no exception.
Mm-hmm.
How about that moonsault off the concourse onto the stairwell?
Yep. That's actually become kind of a regular spot in
I wish it wasn't.
because of that.
That should be like the WrestleMania moment, you know?
Well, not regular, as in it happens all the time, but it's a regular thing in big event main events, like big title match main events. That somebody will do something off the top of the stairs onto the balcony level there at Karakan.
Good. I like it. I like it a lot. How about the end with the Kairi Hojo elbow and then the moonsault right back to back? Yeah. Is there something there did this person take out Hojo and injure her? Is that why she was using the move, or was it just like a tribute, or did he have to break out all the stops in order to beat her? Am I missing some sort of backstory there?
The best way to describe it really is to say that this was a a prelude to the formation of the Freedom stable when Io, Kairi Hojo, and Mayu Iwatani formed their trios team. But they were all friends, and they were all very very clearly positioned to be the next big things in Stardom. But they all kind of had to go through the veterans who were there first, because when Stardom was first becoming active, Rasi Yagawa brought in a lot of veterans of Joshi past, and Miko's actually one of the all-time greats. And I mean, you talked about how that the match was stiff as fuck. There's a reason for that, because Miko Satomura was trained by none other than Chigusa Nagayo, one of the original Crush gals, who were basically
I know that name.
Yeah, the originators of Joshi wrestling in Japan, and so they didn't fuck around in the early days, and so Miko learned hard way, essentially. She learned the good old All Japan hard way style.
The All Japan women stuff.
Yeah,
yeah.
That was what she was trained on.
I like it. I love it. I love it.
She kicks to collapse sternums.
Yeah,
that's what I like to say.
She gives zero fucks. It's great. I think I texted you. Do these women know that this isn't work?
Yeah.
Like I understand. I love. This is gonna be the name of this episode should be Two Guys Gushing Over Japan, because I'm pretty sure we're gonna both give New Japan proper praise for how great Dominion was. But this match was just such a great opening. The crowd is into it. I hope the whole Japanese crowds are respectful and don't say anything. Meme dies a million deaths in a million fires, because that's just such bullshit. The Japanese crowds get into it just as much as American crowds do.
Yeah.
And they got into this match. They were chanting for Io. They were trying to power up during submissions. I went 4 3/4. The only reason I didn't go the full and 4 3/4 is pretty great. Let's be fair. The only reason I didn't go the full 5 is because Io no-sells like 3 Death Valley drivers.
Mm-hmm.
Jumps up, hits the 2 top moves, and then wins the match. I could have done without that a little bit. I know fighting spirit and all that, but I could have done without the total baby face. The total and complete no sell.
Yeah.
Like her name might as well have been Io Okada at the end of that. But it was still an unbelievable match. It was so good. I would highly recommend it. It's, in fact, I'm going to get the link while you talk and post it in the threads, because Puro Revolution, a subred, had it. So I'm going to post the link of the full match. But you should get Stardom World. I will be getting Stardom World. It was great. This match rocked. Thank you for the recommendation. And I will let you talk about the match that I recommend. Well, one of the matches. I think I gave you like 3 or 4 options, right?
Yeah, you did. Because one of the things that you had asked me about, you asked me initially who my favorite wrestlers were currently, and I gave you a list, and you asked me about if I had ever seen any of AJ Styles' matches versus Hiroshi Tanahashi, and I said not recently, no. And so you directed me to a few, and I chose 2014 King of Pro Wrestling, the match for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. Wow, let me just say, I know there are a lot of people who have, issues with the New Japan style of main event of, big move sell, big move sell, big move sell, until you get to the end sprint. And I can understand why that is not always a desirable thing, but that worked so well for this match, because Tanahashi and Styles here. I mean, these two guys are the same age. They're both veterans, been wrestling their whole lives, made names for themselves around the world. Two of the most well-known wrestlers worldwide. At this point, 2 of the most well-known wrestlers worldwide who were not in WWE. And this more than it just being a title match, because it was obviously a title match, but even more than that, this match was definitely a bragging rights match. See who was the superior veteran, and I loved that opening of them just going hold for hold back and forth with each other, replicating each other's moves to see who would do it better, who would get more torque, more stress on each of their rest holds, and just who could establish dominance. And AJ, healing it up, being a dick to Red Shoes, and being a dick to Tanahashi while he's putting his moves on and stuff is that's great. That's great healing. He's just he was in his element there, and it was fantastic.
What's funny about real quick? What's funny about AJ Styles? Oh, go on.
No, continue. Yes, please.
AJ Styles was always really great at professional wrestling.
Yeah.
He lost his way a little bit in TNA. You could tell that the Claire Lynch stuff just broke him spiritually, emotionally. It broke all of us spiritually, emotionally. But he only spent 2 years in New Japan, basically. A little less than 2 years. He came in March of 2014 and left at the very beginning of 2016, right? That was like wrestling grad school for him. It vaulted him to a whole nother level. It got him his WWE contract. It got him the international acclaim and adulation that he deserves. Because remember, when he left TNA the first time, nobody wanted him in New Japan. Right. WWE wanted nothing to do with him. Remember, they offered him some lowball developmental deal to come to NXT for God knows how long. Because he's just another little guy who did flips. And he went to New Japan and he totally learned how to be an elite wrestler. And I think by virtue of wrestling with Nakamura and Okada and Tanahashi, it was like going to wrestling graduate school for the guy, or wrestling finishing school. And this match is one of the best ones that he had.
Yeah.
But I'll let you go on. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's fine. I mean, because that's an excellent point. And just as a side note, I find it hilarious that AJ used New Japan as his wrestling finishing school, whereas most New Japan talents tend to use CMLL as their wrestling finishing school.
A very good point.
But yeah, I mean, just the back and forth at the beginning, hold for hold, fantastic, very well done sequences, and right up to the one spot where finally Jarrett creates the distraction. AJ takes control. And then Tanahashi fights his way back, only to, he hits the high fly flow, and only to have Jarrett pull Red Shoes out of the ring and knock him out. And then the amazing return of Yoshitatsu to make the save of preventing Tanahashi from getting hit in the head with a guitar. I'll say to you again what I said earlier. Why did they ever let Jeff Jarrett into Japan in the first place for this?
I'm not quite sure. Someone in the WWE said that it was because Global Force was the biggest reason Wrestle Kingdom 2009 was on pay-per-view. Or excuse me, 2015 was on pay-per-view, so it was kind of like a make good. But still, it's Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah.
I
mean, putting him in Bullet Club for all of 3 seconds was 3 seconds too much time.
I mean, it was him in the leather jacket and the skis jumping the shark at that point. That was Bullet Club with Jeff Jarrett in it. But it's Bullet Club. That's what they do. They're the ultimate meta and ultimate smart.
Yeah.
So
they're in a continuous loop of jumping over the same shark again and again.
Exactly.
Somebody needs to make a GIF of the Bullet Club logo going over a shark over and over and over. Somebody who's listening, if you can make GIFs, get on that. But the comeback after Yoshitatsu makes a save, only for AJ to then hit the low blow. It's like, oh god, all hope is lost now. Shit, what do we do? And then that moment of him going for the Super Styles Clash off the top rope, I was like, oh my god.
Was this the one that had the super long calf crusher?
No. He actually didn't get the calf crusher in this match.
There was one of these matches where, and AJ talks about it on the Talk is Jericho podcast, where he hits the calf crusher on Tanahashi for like a full minute, to the point where he's saying to himself, man, Tanahashi's killing my move. He's got to power out. But then afterwards, when he went to Tanahashi and said, hey, man, what happened with that calf crusher? Tanahashi goes, there was a little girl in the front row who was crying. And I stared at her, and I wanted to keep her crying because I wanted her and all of the people to get into it.
Holy shit!
He's like, this little girl right in front of me, right in my line of sight, and this submission was in tears that I would give up. And
Oh my God.
I said, no, I'm gonna let this go another 10, 15 seconds before I power out, just so this little girl, just so this little girl can suffer.
Oh my God. Now I need to go and find that match and see.
It's I don't remember which one exactly, but Styles brings it up on his Talk Is Jericho podcast from like a year when they were still doing the Y2AJ thing. It was like before that whole program, so like early 2016. I want to say what the podcast was. First
right around the time when he came in.
Yeah. March maybe 2016. So.
Yeah, so he manages to avoid the Super Styles clash, and then gets control again, 2 high fly flows, and gets the win. First there was high fly flow. AJ gets the knees up, then AJ goes for the springboard 450, and Tanahashi gets the knees up, and it's like, God, I would not want to be either of those two guys. And to feel what their stomachs are undoubtedly feeling. I mean, granted, both of them are in much better shape than me, but still. But yeah, like that. Then from there, like I said, 2 high fly flows, pin. Great end to the match. But then the post match also. The post match is essentially the moment of. It's the beginning of Okada's road to the top. This was the moment because Okada had won the G1, and he had the briefcase, and he came to the ring with Gedo just as they had finished putting the belt on him, on Tanahashi, and Gedo makes his whole big speech, and then Okada takes the mic, and I wish we could still get this Okada because Okada takes. I can barely parse out a little bit of Japanese, but I did not need any translation to know exactly what this was that Okada was saying. This was Okada saying, "You're an old man. Your time has passed. It's my time now. I'm going to take your title. I'm going to take your legacy, and this is going to be my company now." And that was what Okada said. It's like I don't even need a translation to know that was what Okada was saying. And I would love to be able to get that Okada again, that cocky, brash, dipshit Okada, because I mean now it's it's still confident Okada, but weathered by experience, weathered by that long road to finally winning the title again the next year at Wrestle Kingdom because he lost. At Wrestle Kingdom 9,
he lost in the main event in a match that everyone forgets because Nakamura Ibushi was unbelievable. Yeah,
and then he got back on the horse, went and won the G1 again the next year, and then went and challenged Tanahashi at the main event again.
No, the 15 G1 was Tanahashi beating Nakamura.
Oh, Tanahashi won.
Tanahashi was coming in as you're cool. Tanahashi came in as the challenger, I believe. And the whole gimmick was, you can't beat me in the Dome. The Dome is a magical place.
Right. Yes.
And that was what it was. I am still the ace because the Dome is a spiritual place for me, and you cannot beat me there.
Right. Yes. I forget because he'd won the title earlier in the year. I believe he actually won it at Dominion. Now that I think about it.
Maybe correct.
Maybe. But I would have to go back and look at his championship history there. But that was that post match promo of cocky asshole Okada. The young upstart ready to steal the ace's throne out from under him. That was a fantastic post match bit. Especially with the two of them standing on the turnbuckles, both trying to get dueling cheers from the audience. Because even though Okada was a dickhead, the audience was still into him. Because
they still are into him, even though he's a dickhead.
Yeah, but he was the young, unproven guy, and then and they were into that. They liked that attitude from him because it was kind of like what they were getting with the Bullet Club, but not quite as much. Not quite as much hamminess. It was just I'm great and I know it. That was fantastic. But yeah, so I would give that match 4.5 easily. The opening segment, as much as I loved the opening bit of them trading moves back and forth, it did go on a little bit too long. And Jarrett's involvement in the middle was, kind of eyebrow raising, but still 4.5 easily, because it was still just a great, well wrestled match between the two guys, really showing off that they still are, still were and still are elite talents. That was matches of the week. Yeah,
it was. I loved it. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, thank you for the recommendation.
Hey, I like this little gimmick. We should do it again down the line.
Yeah, for sure. All right, and that will take us right into the meat of tonight's show, which is recap of Dominion 611, which happened this past Sunday, as I said.
I saw the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 matches. I started with the Bucks and Romero and Beretta. So anything before that, I'll let you take the lead on. I mean, it was a bunch of mixed tags and shit. So that's kind of. This is a 5-hour show, people. So I had to kind of triage and figure out what I wanted to watch and what I didn't, because I still work and stuff. And I still watch Raw and SmackDown and stuff like that, which we should talk about as well, by the way, real quick. But let's do this quickly. Let's just do this.
I'm putting a moratorium on Raw until next week, because if we talk about Raw, I'm going to get really angry about something that's going on with one of the Raw talents, and I want to.
Yes.
I want to save that until next week and see if maybe WWE wises up and kills that angle before it even starts.
I would bet on no.
I would bet on no also, but I'm gonna wait and keep my fingers crossed and pray, and if not, then I will expel my vitriol completely next week. But yeah, the 2 opening tag matches, not really all that important. David Finley's team David Finley and 2 Young Lions beat a team of 3 Young Lions in the dark match 6-man tag, and then the requisite New Japan Dads 8-man tag match that also features Tiger Mask W had Tiger Mask W's team winning. But that was actually a fun one. I enjoyed that one. I got to say, the New Japan Dads are really are really doing a good job of keeping those matches entertaining, especially Togi Makabe. Togi Makabe is always fun to watch, because he just doesn't give any fucks at all. So good job, New Japan Dads. Keep it up. And then we get into the first title match of a show that was like 75% title matches. 70% title matches.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We had the gauntlet match for the never openweight 6-man tags, which featured 5 teams representing each of the 5 factions in New Japan.
Talk about this match, and then I have a question for you.
Yeah. So started off with Bullet Club and Chaos in the ring. They went for about 6 minutes of back and forth stuff before Toru Yano got in, took off the corner pads, fucked everyone up on those, and then pinned Yujiro Takahashi to eliminate Bullet Club. And then Suzuki Gun came in. Taichi Nishinobu Kanemaru did almost did things that mattered before Zack Sabre Jr. pinned Toru Yano with a European clutch after almost 7 minutes. And then Taguchi Japan came in, and they sized up Suzuki Gun. They had their comedy bits before they got serious. Ricochet pulled off yet another incredible sequence, like he always does. Actually, wait, no, Ricochet did not pull off his sequence here. It was actually mostly Taguchi pulling Face in Peril before Juice came in and cleaned house. And he pinned Taichi following a Pulp Friction. But Zack Sabre Jr., being new heel Zack Sabre Jr., he said, "I'm not going to let you guys get away with this without getting some retribution on you." So he locked in an octopus hold on Juice for a good minute and a half. Actually, no, it was probably only about a minute, while LIJ was making their way down to the ring, and they had Juice do Face in Peril for a bit. Then Ricochet came in, did a sequence. Then LIJ cleared house. Ryusuke Face in Peril until he took an MX, and LIJ retains, as I predicted, because I mean, They really don't have, like, it's the same people who are going after the never openweight 6-man belts all the time. So I'm not like, I just think that they're kind of directionless right now with those belts. But
They are.
I mean, it worked.
Shot the shit out of them. But this match, reading the results and watching the gifs that Senior Lariotto and others post on Twitter got me thinking. You know how the hallmark of New Japan is that everybody, now that Shibata is retired, everybody is in a faction, right? I'm almost positive there are no more lone wolves, right? Now that Shibata is gone.
Well, I mean, most of the New Japan dads are not in factions. Yeah, looking at it, yeah. I mean, with the exception,
everyone important, I should say. I shouldn't say they're not important. I mean, I love me some Nobunaga Nishi. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, he's actually the only one that is in a faction because he's technically part of Taguchi Japan.
But I mean, my question is this: everyone of importance is in a faction in New Japan. Would New Japan style factions help spice up the WWE?
Absolutely. I mean, we've already seen evidence of this because when in the last,
I think it does give lower card guys a rub to be aligned with stars. Like I think it helps a guy like Juice Robinson that he is in a faction with Hiroshi Tanahashi. You know what I'm saying? Like, it really. So like, I mean, obviously you have to get a little bit of creative to get there. You'd have to figure out why Roman Reigns is talking to R-Truth and Noam Dar or whatever. You know what I mean? But
that's
a
weird grouping, but
first 3 names I could think of.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine.
I would pop for a Roman Reigns, Noam Dar, R-Truth 6-man, by the way, and you know you would too.
Well, no, I wouldn't pop for Noam Dar being a part of it, but Truth and Reigns, absolutely.
Yeah.
2 of them. I mean, yeah, that would be funny as hell.
It would take some storyline creativity, which is the one thing WWE has in very short supply. But I think it would give a shot of the arm to a lot of things, and it would really give you some legitimacy to lower mid-card guys that they're palling around with the upper card guys. So in the back of your head, when we have, because we're going to hit a little bit of a lull before the G1, thinking about how you would do WWE style factions, you know, like team Heyman or whatever, you know, however you want to do it.
Right.
So, but that's something I've been thinking about. Like maybe faction warfare would be pretty good in the WWE because the talent that is unimpeachable. It's just a lot of these guys are floundering with nothing to do. So why not have a couple, you know, 8-man?
I mean, the most interesting WWE has been in the past 5 years was when there was a faction running wild over the entire company, when it was the Shield. And then when you introduced the Wyatts to kind of be a foil to the Shield, and then you brought back Evolution also to fight against the Shield directly. That was some of the most interesting stuff that WWE has produced in recent memory. So, you know, I could easily see that kind of thing working if they just would, like you said, get the creativity together.
They don't need 5, but I think like 3 factions of like your nightly draft from back in the day where you had your good guy faction, your bad guy faction, and your neutral, for lack of a better term, faction. I think you could have something like that. But you have to do a better job of incorporating upper card guys, mid card guys, lower card guys, and women all fighting under the same umbrella for the same objectives.
Absolutely, yeah. So, I mean, it's not hard to, you know, I mean, it's not hard to put that kind of thing together. You know, it's more keeping a continuous storyline, because the one thing that New Japan doesn't do that WWE does do is trying to have a through line of a plot, so to speak. You know, New Japan doesn't really do that. They just say that they're, you know, that there are rivalries, and that's all there is to it. So I think, you know, getting the faction warfare started would not be hard, but then maintaining it with a continuous through line, because that's what WWE loves. You know, I don't know if they would be able to do it. But, I mean, it's worth thinking about. For sure.
Sorry, I didn't mean to sidetrack you, but it's just something I've been thinking about, and it really kind of came to a forefront when you were talking about this match. So
yeah, absolutely.
After this, Young Bucks beat Rocky Romero and Trent Beretta to win the IWGP Championship. I think one of us called this
the junior heavyweight title.
Junior. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I live in a world where both are combined. But that's me.
I mean, actually, no. We both said we actually got both tag matches wrong in our calls. we both predicted the respective champions to retain because they had both only recently acquired their titles.
Yeah,
but,
we screwed up. We should have figured the Young Bucks would win going into a show in Long Beach.
Yeah,
seeing as how they're there. That was dumb on us.
Yeah, I mean the Young Bucks are your guys, so
My guys, my boys. It helps that I'm a foot taller than both of them. I'm a shoot 6'4".
Yeah, and they are tiny men.
They are tiny babies. I like the building the sharpshooter.
Mm-hmm.
I love the beginning with the running flip dive to start the match. That was, your junior heavyweights. Come out with a bang. Don't screw around. All you want to do is see you do high spots. So do high spots.
Yeah. So. I liked the way that this was a reversal of the dome match.
Yes.
Where
matches were reversals of the dome match.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about this when we get to Old Man Tanahashi, but a lot of this was like the dome match in Bizarro World for a lot of these matches.
Yeah. Because in the dome match, it was Beretta who was who got taken out. I mean, in that match, he took himself out with that ridiculous dive up onto the ramp that he wiped out on and landed right on his back. And I thought he was going to end up in a wheelchair for the rest of his life because God in heaven, Trent Beretta, stop doing dumb spots.
Don't do dumb spots.
Yeah, but this time it was Rocky that got jumped before the match even started, and Beretta had to hold his own for a long period of time. But Beretta really did a good job in this match. I mean, Trent Beretta is not somebody who really gets a lot of heraldry by any stretch, but he is a very underrated talent. He has a lot going on for himself, and he really showed a lot in this match. I really enjoyed it.
I did too. It was a good fun spot fest.
Yeah,
I enjoyed this match.
It was different from a lot of the our man Reverend Kane said in his recap post about the show that it was definitely not the typical junior heavyweight tag match that you see on a lot of shows, and I agree with that. It definitely did not follow the same formulas. Definitely felt it was a very different kind of feel to it.
It did. A lot of the junior heavyweight stuff on the indies, especially, is four guys doing flippy shit, a win, and then all of them hugging afterwards and giving props to each other. Yeah. The stereotypical dive that we discussed a couple weeks ago. This felt like a fight. This felt like two teams that wanted nothing to do with each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean by that? This felt like as physical a fight as you could have with four tiny babies.
Yeah, and it made sense to do it like that. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely did. Speaking of fights, holy shit.
Yeah, this next one, holy God.
Tangaroa beat Rayro and Hansen. So Bullet Club has both tag team championships.
Yep.
First of all, Tangaroa hitting Raymond Rowe in the face with a steel chair, don't do that. Now,
don't do that.
I'm not going to sit here and tell grown men what they can and cannot do with their bodies. I'm not. It's just, especially professional wrestling. It's not my style. If you want to beat the crap out of each other and you want to, Old Man Tanahashi, if you want to wrestle on one arm and be permanently scarred for the rest of your life, fine. I'm not going to tell you not to do that. It's stupid, but you're an adult. You know what's going on. Raymond Rowe, don't take chair shots in the face. It's 2017. We know that's bad for you. Don't do it.
Yeah.
You don't need it. You can build heat a lot of ways without getting hit in the face with a chair. This is in 1998. Yeah. We know better now. Don't be an idiot. So.
Yeah. There was some.
The end of Double Team Guerrilla Warfare. I thought that was a fun finish.
Yeah. No, that's a fun spot. I really enjoy that spot. But yeah, like you said, this is. I mean, at least
four guys beating the crap out of each other.
At least Rowe protected himself on the chair shot. I mean, he did get a hand up, but unlike another chair shot that happened later in this show, which I will get back into when we get to it. But yeah, this is that was a rough looking spot. But overall, this was a fun match. Not nearly as much vulgarity as I expected there to be, though. That was shocking.
Yeah, I was expecting a lot of F-bombs and stuff.
I mean, they got into it a little bit in the middle, but then they.
I love that the Gorillas of Destiny's new gimmick is swearing in the middle of their matches.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic.
Great. Why not? I love it.
It's good old school Bullet Club style stuff, because I mean that was what the Bullet Club was back in the day, that they were just give no fucks asshole heels from foreign lands.
I was starting to veer into territory of, I think we should disband one of these factions.
Yeah,
we talking. Everyone in New Japan is in a faction. I was thinking maybe the Bullet Club had run its course. I mean, it's storyline wise, obviously they still sell shitloads of merch, so they're never going to go away that way, nor should they, because let the boys make as much money as they can. But I'm thinking they're kind of revitalized a little bit with this new breed of Tama Tonga and Tangaroa. I think they've gotten better in the ring. I think they've gotten better as their characters.
Absolutely. They absolutely have.
So I think they're kind of helping revitalize the entire stable. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, one of the things that I have said about the Gorillas for a while is that people criticize Tangaroa a lot for not being a very good in-ring worker when they first brought him in, and then immediately strapped a rocket to the Gorillas and put the titles on them the first time. People were saying Tangaroa is not a good in-ring worker. It's like, well, he doesn't need to be, because Tama Tonga easily takes the lion's share of the technical work rate of that team. Tangaroa is a brawler. He is a bruiser. He is a brawler. He is a Tommaso Ciampa style, just beat your face in wrestler. Yep. That is what he does, and he does it really well. He shows off.
He's got a good look. Yeah. He looks like a brawler. He looks like a street fighter with the long pants and the muscles and the face. You know what I mean? He doesn't look like a flippy do shit.
Yeah.
He looks like a fighter, and he wrestles like a fighter.
Yeah. I mean, his big spot that they have him hit in every match is that running power slam, and it works for him. That kind of stuff, those power moves, that work for him.
He's getting better every month.
Yeah. And the presentation of the team of Tangaroa is just brute strength, brute force, and Tama Tonga is this elusive technical wizard who will just run circles around you and then gun stun you to death. Is a great team presentation. That's one of the reasons why I love the Gorillas, and they're one of my favorite tag teams worldwide.
I like them a lot. They're climbing my list. They're perfect in these short matches. They did this match went 11 minutes. Mm-hmm. That's just long enough. They don't need no 25-minute back and forth.
No, not at all.
Come in, get the shine, get the heat, get to the finish, go home.
Yeah, it works very well.
In a company where more is more instead of less is more, I'm glad that they're kind of doing these guys in short, quick bursts. Mm-hmm. Now I want them to come to AAW, damn it! Come to AAW. Anyway.
One day.
Hey.
One day.
AAW tomorrow night. I will not be there, unfortunately.
Damn.
I got a birthday party, I know. But it'll be fun because my girlfriend is making vodka-soaked melon balls. So I'm going to get hammered eating watermelon. It's going to be great.
That sounds awesome.
It's going to be. So if I send you random ass Snapchats of me doing wrestling moves in the backyard, you'll know why.
Please do not do any backyard wrestling. God.
Yeah, no. Especially the bonfire in the backyard, so it could end real poorly. I'll turn to Mick Foley where he got speared through the table.
Yeah, we're gonna show up the next week's show, and you're gonna be like, "Yeah, I'm in traction right now. Yeah. This is
my
terrible."
match will be me. Yeah. Me versus the bonfire. Cody versus Big Mike. Yeah, I mean, 3-star Cody Rhodes strikes again, right? Like,
yeah, and
I love Big Mike. I love Big Mike so much, and I mean, Cody Rhodes is just so thoroughly boring. He was boring at WWE. He's boring as Stardust. He's boring on the Indies. He's just, he draws great. I don't give a fuck. He's a boring professional wrestler.
He is.
And now he's wrestling Okada.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Yeah. But yeah, this whole I was also
Cody Rhodes, whatever. I mean, the less I talk about him, the better I feel. To be honest, he's just so. Ugh.
Yeah, I will say that for all intents and purposes, like, I liked it better when he what he was doing in the first his debut match in the Dome against Juice, where he was just this vicious vicious heel.
Yeah, now he's doing this charisma shit.
his dumbass, blow kisses to the crowd. What the fuck is that?
His dad, and he's got 1/10 the charisma of his dad. Like, what are you doing, man? Come on.
Yeah, it's really disappointing. I mean,
what's disappointing is he's getting pushes.
Yeah, that too, especially. He shouldn't be, but he is for reasons that escape all logic and understanding.
I don't get it. Speaking of things I don't get, Kushida beating Hiromu Takahashi. Now,
this was match of the night.
This match
undoubtedly
ruled. This
was
kicked ass.
5 stars. 5-star match.
Let me tell you about my problem though with Gato. Okay, Gato is the booker of New Japan. He is the king and crown prince of long-term booking. He sets a plan. He always sees it in motion, right?
Yeah.
His plan was that Kushida would get his redemption on Batman, my avatar, Hiromu Takahashi, at this show after winning the Best of Super Juniors. He set that plan in motion 9 months ago, whatever it was, because that's how Kushida does his business. You know what I mean?
No, Geto does his business.
Geto. Excuse me, Geto does his business. Thank you. The problem is in that 9-month interim, Hiromu Takahashi became the second most popular guy on the show.
Easily one of the most popular wrestlers in the world.
Yes. I don't want to break out the vaunted B word because this match was too good to say that anybody losing it was buried.
Yeah.
And I get the story they were trying to tell with Kushida's redemption.
Mm-hmm.
And I have no doubt that Kushida and Bushi will have a good match.
Yeah.
But I feel Takahashi should have won. He should have kept the belt all the way to the dome. Then you give it to Kushida, and then you get your real redemption story. If that's the story you want to tell.
I can. I
felt it was a little hot-shotted because Geto is set in his ways, and once he decides the course of action, he sticks to it. He is not flexible.
Yeah.
He doesn't say, "Wow, this guy is getting over. We should keep the belt on him," or "Wow, this is happening," or "Wow, that is happening."
Yeah, I mean, it's. I will agree with you in that way that there should have been some analysis of the fact that Takahashi is now eclipsing Naito as being the most popular guy in LIJ and also one of the most popular guys in the entire company, as you said. But I can also understand why they wanted to keep the booking as it was, and it kind of makes sense. To me, at least, it does make sense to not have Kushida go 0-3, in title matches against Hiromu. Because I mean, long-term storytelling is good, and maybe having Hiromu do like he did after winning at the Dome, and break off, face some other challengers, go back to Kushida, face another couple of challengers, go back to Kushida again, like he did. I can see some value in that, but at the same time, I can also see people saying, "Oh, well, he's never going to beat Hiromu, so why should we care about anything else that he's doing?" And I mean, Kushida is one of the most well-liked and most well-respected performers that the company has. He's been there forever, and he still performs at a very high level, a very high caliber, and he in many ways took the mantle of the junior heavyweight division standard bearer from Liger. And has carried it for a very long time now. So I can understand maybe not wanting to, pass that off to Takahashi now, even though, Takahashi has proven himself to be a once-in-a-generation performer and very easily could take that mantle now.
Takahashi's it. I mean, he is a bundle of charisma. He's a great worker.
Yeah.
And I am worried that because of his style, including, holy shit, these power bombs to the aprons and stuff that he does. He doesn't have a long shelf life. Yeah. He doesn't have a long shelf life for this stuff. So you need to definitely strike while the iron is hot. And I know New Japan very rarely straps the Rocket to a junior. They kind of keep them in their little segregated junior world. Even Prince Devitt never won the IWGP Heavyweight Championship when he started Bullet Club.
No. Even though he did compete in both the heavyweight and the junior heavyweight divisions.
Yes, but he never won the title. And I'm not saying Kushida will never. God damn it, George. Takahashi will never win the title. I should say never. Yeah. Takahashi will likely not win the title.
Yeah.
He may never compete for the title. But how great would a Takahashi Omega or Takahashi Okada or Takahashi Naito match be? Like,
Yeah.
he's that good. He's
Mhm.
better than this division, and this division rocks. He's
Yeah.
the guy.
He is the guy.
Adam Rice, our guy Adam Rice, Takahashi will be in a wheelchair by the time he's 50. He'll be in a wheelchair by the time he's 40.
Yeah. I
He
mean,
just does crazy shit. So the time
really
to strike
does.
is now. This guy deserves a top billing at the moment. He's going to get buried in a little junior match, 3 or 4 matches after the Rumble, and it's going to piss me off, brother Chris, because this guy is it.
I mean, he's 27 years old, and he is. All he knows how to do is take spots on the back of his neck, and it's the most painful looking thing to watch. But yeah, I mean, he is
horrible, but he's just a bundle of charisma. People get him. People dig him. The crowd understands him. They connect to him. That's what this business is about. I say this all the damn time, brother Chris. This business is not about doing 630s off the top rope. This business is about connecting to crowds. Now, you can connect to crowds and be a shitty professional wrestler. I'm looking at you, Hulk Hogan. I am. Say what you will about the guy.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I agree with you 100%.
Post-broken neck Steve Austin was not a good in-ring competitor because of his neck injury, limited his mobility. Yet nobody connected with crowds like that guy does.
Not at all.
For every guy who can connect to the crowds, you have 50 spot monkeys who don't do shit.
Yeah.
Right?
And Takahashi is the rare breed of both.
Takahashi can do both. This guy is the guy. Put the rocket on his ass and send him to the moon. He should be competing for the big belt. So
yeah,
that's my speech.
No, I understand. I agree with you.
Yes, TSM. He is the Japanese Daniel Bryan.
Yes, that's actually 100% accurate.
This is it, man. If you don't watch New Japan, he is the Japanese. He is the Japanese Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
Everything you want.
Yeah, and like you were saying, like he is an insane worker. And this match, the reason why I give this match 5 stars is because both he and Kushida took out all the stops.
They work so well together.
And they work so well together. They convey the fact that they fucking hate each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like, worse than any pairing of people could hate each other that you can ever think of. Like, Takahashi and Kushida hate each other more than Stone Cold hates Vince McMahon. That's the level of this, of the animosity between those two guys.
You talked about this at the top of the show. He didn't become this good till he went to CMLL.
Yeah, exactly.
He was just
floundering
around. He went to CMLL. He figured out how to work, and the light switch came on, and now he is one of the best in the world. Cannot recommend this match enough. This match is so damn good.
And this is, and to give an idea of just how well this guy works in his character, this is the second feud now that he has created that is like easily one of the best feuds going on in any promotion worldwide. The first one being between him and Dragon Lee last year, and now the feud between him and Kushida. Easily one of the best that is going on in any promotion anywhere. And Takahashi just knows how to make it work. He's a special performer.
I mean, I can't say you like the old cliche. When you see it.
Yeah. Yes, more than Sasha and Alexa hate each other too, Matt. Yeah.
You know when you see it.
Sasha and Alexa's shoot hate for each other does not come even close to Kushida and Hiromu's work hate for each other.
That's it. That's a good analogy.
Like, backstage, these guys could easily be the best of friends, but you'd never know it going into the ring because they beat the shit out of each other.
Let's pour out a 40 for Mr. Belt.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
In hostage, probably time traveling somewhere in a fucking DeLorean.
Hanging out with Julius Caesar or something.
Don't worry, Mr. Belt. Hopefully you'll come home during the G1 or
King of Pro Wrestling or something. Yeah. Yeah,
hopefully you'll come home. That post-match attack by Bushi also, I was a big fan of.
Yeah!
It's like, Kushida calls for the wave, because he did that at the end of the Best of Super Juniors. He called for the wave, and they got get the crowd hyped, get them engaged, and in the middle of the crowd doing the wave, Bushi sneaks into the ring, grabs Kushida, turns him around, spits the mist in his face, and Kushida's just dead on the mat. And there you go.
The best. I love wrestling.
I mean,
wrestling rocks.
Yeah, that was an amazing moment, and this was something I think they really needed to do, especially because this was like, in a lot of ways, Bushi has become like the fifth wheel of LIJ. Right. Because I mean, Naito obviously getting all the spotlight for all of his antics with the IC title. Hiromu being just insanely good, and Evil and Sonata just having amazingly good presentation, even within the trios team that's basically going nowhere. They still get very good presentation. Bushi kind of sometimes gets forgotten about because, he comes into the ring, he does, the spot where he chokes you out with the t-shirt. There's some flippy stuff. Occasionally he spits the mist. And even they gave the mist spitting thing, they gave it to Evil on a couple of occasions. Exactly. So Bushi didn't even have that at one point.
Didn't Bushi and Kushida wrestle like 2 years ago for the belt?
Yeah, I believe so.
I think Bushi beat him, actually.
Yeah, Bushi did have the belt for a short stint.
Very short.
Yeah, I think leading up to or right after the formation of the stable in the first place. They needed to do something to establish him as doing something besides the 6-man team.
Yeah, he's got to.
Yeah.
I'd put Takahashi as the main event, and I'd put Bushi as your resident junior. To be honest.
Yeah.
And I'd leave Evil and Sonata as my tag team.
Yeah, but putting them in the tag division, I think, would actually make a lot more sense. Honestly, because Evil and Sonata work well together as a heavyweight tag team. Bushi's great as part of the 3-man team too, but I think that just having them run as a tag team will help to give that trios division a little bit, take the stranglehold off that trios division a bit, and maybe give it to some other teams a chance to take some shine there.
Agreed. Minoru Suzuki. You got anything else in this match before we move on?
No, that was it.
Minoru Suzuki and his awesome Japanese pop music beat Hiroki Goto and his awesome non-Japanese pop music to retain the never-openly title
battle music.
A lumberjack death match. The best part about this match was not the match itself. The best part about this match was Minoru Suzuki bitch slapping Jushin Liger in the face. And then Liger throwing a chair at Suzuki in the face. How can the Minoru Suzuki Jushin Liger program be?
It's gonna happen eventually.
I hope it does.
Like that's probably gonna be something that happens. Like maybe not during the G1, but probably like right after the G1.
I think it should. I think they should have a G1 match, and then they should have an actual program.
Yeah.
The crowd wanting Luger. Suzuki versus Liger. Not Luger. Nobody wants Luger.
Nobody wants Luger anymore. Yeah, the crowd is there for that. The crowd is there for anybody versus Suzuki because Suzuki still is one of those beloved performers in the company.
Yep.
The guy still has insane amounts of charisma. He still is a great worker, and he's putting on good matches with a lot of guys right now. But I gotta take a moment here once again to call Hiroki Goto up to the front of the class. I'm stealing Tanya's gimmick from Wednesday Night Shooting here, and calling Goto up to the front of the class and tell him, stop taking chair shots to the head, you idiots.
Yeah, don't do that.
Even if it's a work chair, and I know.
I don't care.
The second time around, the bottom of the chair popped out, so it's probably a worked chair, but still, I don't care. The look of the spot and the message that spot sends is bad. Don't communicate that is an okay thing to do to anybody. That's a bad thing to do. It's plain as day. Anybody who knows anything at this point in time in 2017 knows that any direct shots to the skull are a bad thing. And
don't do that.
Don't want to be sending the message that it's okay to do that. Because the next thing you know is going to be some terrible news story that's going to come out of some pair of brothers who were wrestling in their backyard or in their living room in Osaka or Kyoto or somewhere, and one of them hit the other one in the head with a chair, and the other one, has some sort of tragic health issue as a result, or even died as a result of it. We don't want to be sending that message. So New Japan officials, stop doing the unprotected chair shots. Goto, stop agreeing to take the unprotected chair shots.
No, guys, you know better. And if you don't know better, you should know better.
Do you want Goto to be the next Shibata? Because I don't.
No, I don't.
No, nobody wants that. And of course, they would have Taichi be the one who delivers the chair shot because we needed another reason to hate Taichi, you know, him being the piece of shit that he is. But yeah, so that happened. But I mean, it was a good match aside from that. And the post match defiant challenge from Yoshihashi to Minoru Suzuki was also great because Yoshihashi's been kind of just languishing, doing nothing. So I like the fact that he got in there to defend the honor of his stalemate and then just went ham and said, I don't care that there's 6 of you out here. I'm going to fucking kill all of you, even if it's just me. And Ishii and Jado having to hold him back from like
awesome.
ramp to kill them all. That was so good. Yoshihashi is seriously underrated for his work. He's really good at it. Yeah, that was that match.
I mean, old man Hiroshi Tanahashi, which is his new name, beat Tetsuya Naito for the IWG for the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah, IWG
we talked about
title.
Matches of the Dome are different.
Mm-hmm.
This one. How about Tanahashi jumping Naito before the match when Naito was still in his purple suit?
Yeah.
When before the Ace would always let him get ready. And then he lost. Yeah. He said, I got to pull out all the stops. I got to beat this guy. He realized he's not good enough, especially with a bad arm, to beat Naito while playing nice so he doesn't play nice.
This was
my favorite spot of the entire show. You ready?
Okay.
Old man Tanahashi getting on top of Naito and punching him in the throat over and over and over, and then standing up and spitting on him.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was fantastic.
Somebody made it into a GIF. I'm gonna look it up on the Twitter. Hand tip Chris Jericho while you talk. But yeah, just climb on top of him, punch him in the throat and the chest, and said, "Screw you, you bastard." And then he got up and he spit on him because Naito likes to spit on people because Naito is a scumbag.
Yeah. I forget which event it was, but that was actually a bit of a callback to the last match that happened between Tanahashi and Evil. I think it might have been Wrestling Toyo Nakuni. I'm not sure, but that was the match where Evil was coming out and he had his the whole smoke machine going, and the ring area was all filled with steam, and he's coming down, and the steam is eclipsing Tanahashi, who's in the ring and has the lights behind him, so you don't see him really all that well. And then from out of the steam and out of the lights, Tanahashi comes and just baseball slide kicks Evil right in the face and takes him out before the match even starts. Yeah, that is what Tanahashi's about now. Tanahashi is tired of your shit, Lij, and he is
gonna punch you in the damn throat.
He's going to take you out one at a time, even if it kills him. He's going to do it.
Exactly. He's going to punch you in the throat, and it's going to be great, and spit on you because he gives no fucks. And how about the finish? We talked about submission matches that were too long, or submissions that went a little long. Notice how the crowd was dead for the Cloverleaf, and then the longer it got held on, the more they started to buzz.
Yeah, because I mean, when was the last time we had a memorable Tanahashi match that didn't end with a high fly flow?
Because the high fly flow was kicked out of. The only time the high fly flow is kicked out of is on the Dome and at Dominion.
Yeah,
because they protect their finishers.
Mm-hmm. And kudos to Naito for putting on this performance and pulling this match out. And really, I hate to be the one to say this, but he really did carry this match because Tanahashi is wrestling with a hole in his arm. So, so Naito really did carry
if you didn't know Naito was one of the best in the world, this was your wake up call right here.
Yeah, absolutely. This was fantastic.
I love this match. I thought this match was so good.
Yeah, it was a great match. My second favorite match of the night. Even though I was physically sick at certain points from watching Tanahashi working with his arm just clearly in agony.
Exactly.
Just oh god, that was so hard to watch. But yeah, he put it together well. Naito made it happen when Tanahashi couldn't. And it just worked. It was a good match. Definitely even though Tanahashi should not be wrestling, they made the right call there. I still think that they should have, given him the time off that he needs to properly heal. But New Japan's going to New Japan. Yeah, but New Japan is going to New Japan. That is what it is.
Oh, I'm looking for some. I got some great gifts for you. This isn't even a gift. This is just
post them in the.
I just did. There. I just did. I just posted one. I'm just finding awesome Twitters from Mr. Lariotto, and if you don't follow him on Twitter, you should.
Yeah, Lariotto, and that actually is the Twitter account NJPW Gifts also.
Yeah, that is pretty great.
Does really great stuff.
I don't remember which one has this awesome Naito or getting Tanahashi punching dude in the throat. I was talking about, but goddamn. You know what I mean? So, main event. What are your thoughts on the 60-minute draw between Okada and Kenny Omega? Briefly, we're not going to go through the entire match because we'll be here for a year and a half.
Yeah, God, yeah.
But give me your overarching impressions, and I'll give you my overarching impressions.
It was obvious they were trying way too hard to top what they did at the Dome, and I can understand. I can understand why they wanted to, put together a match that was even better than what they did at the Dome. I get it. You always gotta, feel like you're building on what previously occurred, and it makes sense. You had a 45-minute epic at the Dome that got 6 stars from Davey Hammer Curls, and the whole world was talking about it. Of course, you're going to want to do something to top it, but this was just way over the top. I mean, the whole first half an hour of the, or not even not half an hour, but the first 20 minutes of the match easily could have been condensed or cut entirely. With a lot of the back and forth stuff that was happening, just really did not jive well. But towards the end, I was really getting into it, and then Cody Rhodes comes down to the ring and is gonna try and throw in the towel for Kenny Omega. And oh my God, Bullet Club dissension! Shut up. Putting Cody Rhodes in the Bullet Club is almost as bad as them putting Jeff Jarrett in the Bullet Club.
It's worse because it's much longer.
Yeah, and I mean, I understand they're trying to capitalize on the fact that he's a known name, a known quantity, and they want to, do something with him while he still has his prestige. What little prestige he has. But this was not the right way to go about it. But I mean, other than that, and the fact that the opening of the match was far too drawn out, I really did like the continuation of the saga of Ken Omega pin Okada with the one-winged angel, and he did hit it. But Okada, being Okada, got his foot on the rope and prevented the pin because Okada is Okada.
There were a few things I loved about this match.
Yeah.
Do you remember when Bray Wyatt was feuding with John Cena?
Yes.
And he cut the promo about the racehorse who finds it a little harder each time to finish at the top of the racehorse mountain?
Yes.
Stallion who finds it a little harder. I think that's the story they're telling with Okada. That each title defense takes a little bit more out of him each time. You know what I mean? That he beat Kenny the first time. The second time was a draw. The third time is Omega's going to win. It's just a natural continuation that these take more and more out of Okada. I loved some of the spots in this match. I loved Omega collapsing to prevent the Rainmaker.
Yeah, that was very well done.
Great. I thought this match was excellent. I thought it was too long. I thought it could have easily done the entire match in 40 minutes rather than 60. I know you got to do a 60-minute time limit, blah, 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 whatever. Gimmick the time. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
They didn't, apparently. Some people timed it. It was actually 60 minutes. They didn't do 55 or whatever. I don't know why not, but whatever. I thoroughly enjoyed this match, and I have no interest in ever watching it ever again, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
You know what I mean? Like, I
absolutely.
liked it a lot. I saw it live, and I was like, holy shit, this match is really great. But I don't need to ever see it ever again. You know what I'm saying?
That is exactly my feeling on the match, and this is the second defense that Okada's had in the past 6 months, where I had that feeling. The first one being the defense against Suzuki at New Beginning. That was exactly my feeling about that match.
I did not like the Suzuki match anywhere near as close as I like this match. Now, this match was very good. Very, very good. I thought it was too long. I thought it was too stuff, too much bullshit. I thought Okada looked too good. Like, he sets the table up and he doesn't go through it. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like, this is like wrestling 101.
Yeah. But yeah, it was better than the Suzuki match for sure. But I still did enjoy the Suzuki match, but I don't ever need to watch it again. And I enjoyed this match more, but I never need to watch it again. Too much going on. I mean, there are probably clips of it that I might watch here and there, but other than that, no. But they did use this as a way to set up the events of the G1 special in the U.S., which is coming up.
Let me give you my theory about the G1.
Yeah.
It's Cody Rhodes versus Okada, and Blast from the Past, Mr. Ass versus Tanahashi. Now, I think it's more. I don't think Billy Gunn and Cody Rhodes are a draw to casual viewers.
No.
I think 100% they're easy breathers before the G1 for these two guys. Tanahashi, I think Billy Gunn is meant as a guy who can have a basic TV match with Tanahashi, where Tanahashi doesn't have to kill himself with one arm for the start of the G1. By the way, we will have a G1 preview on this show.
Yeah.
Once the brackets get announced and all that, we will have a G1 preview, and it will be quite good. Yes. I highly recommend you listen. That being said, if Cody Rhodes is ever going to do anything as a professional wrestler, kid, if you cannot have a good match with 2017 Kaz Okada, you're a bad wrestler. Because Bad Luck Fale, his fat fuck ass, had a good match with Kaz Okada.
Yeah.
And you're not as bad as Bad Luck Fale, are you, Cody Rhodes?
God, I hope not.
Bad Luck Fale has charisma, and you don't.
Here's the thing about Cody Rhodes, and you actually just said it exactly. Is like Cody Rhodes is not, technically he's not unsound as a wrestler. He has the ability to put stuff together, but he just doesn't connect. He doesn't have anything to grab people and pull them in. And like he was starting to show that by being a vicious heel. Then they put him together with Omega and the Elite and had him start acting like a dumbass. And now he's doing this whole, blowing kisses to the crowd bullshit. And it's like, you're not helping your case, kid. Come on. You can do better than this. I know you can do better than this. You did better than this as fucking Stardust. You can easily do better than this without the paint.
I don't know if he did, to be honest. What's the last match in the WWE? Was it the tag team with Goldust against Randy Orton and whoever the hell else was in that match?
His last match in WWE? No.
What was his best match as Stardust?
Oh, his best match as Stardust. Whatever the match was that when they won the tag team titles together. Either that, because it was a multi-team tag team match where
I remember him and Goldust having a couple good tag team matches. I remember Randy Orton being involved. But Goldust is a good wrestler.
Yeah,
it's easy to have a good match with him, and either against him or as your partner. I don't think Cody Rhodes is a good wrestler. I mean, he can't talk. You saw some of those promos, right? Good God, you saw him interrupting Okada at the press conference, right?
Oh, God.
Like a teenager pretending to be a professional wrestler.
Exactly.
Cody Rhodes can't talk. He's got no presence.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a good worker. What the fuck am I missing with this guy? Yeah, people that he draws.
It's
more power to him, but I have no interest in seeing him.
I don't know what it is. I mean, it's at this point it's got to be name recognition only. Because I don't get it either. I have no comprehension of why people would want to see this. Like, Pro Wrestling Magic is running a show tomorrow in New Jersey. The main event of the show is Keith Lee and Cody Rhodes. I have zero interest in going to that show.
What a waste of Keith Lee.
Yeah, even though Keith Lee is the fucking main event of the show, I have zero interest in going. I opted not to buy tickets for it, even though it's fucking Keith Lee, because somehow Cody Rhodes is going to make that match just feel like garbage, and probably win. Yeah.
Where in New Jersey is it?
It's at Starland Ballroom in Sayreville. It's Central Jersey. I mean, it's like an hour drive away. It's not that far. I go there for concerts all the time, but I have no interest in doing this.
Gross. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, at least I get to see Keith Lee next weekend at Evolve 87. Yeah. So there's that.
You can bask in his glory. We should talk about that next week, by the way. A preview.
We are. Yeah, we're going to do primers for Evolve 86 and 87 next week, along with our Money in the Bank.
I'm talking a while.
Yeah, and there's actually some really good subject matter to talk about that's happening at 86 and 87. So we'll definitely be covering some of that. But yeah,
do you have anything else?
I was going to say.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, the other big thing that's happening is, I mean, there's a couple of other there's some rematches happening at the G1 special. The tag team and junior tag team title rematches are going to happen at those shows. Night 1 is going to have Gorillas versus War Machine. Night 2 will have the Bucks and Roppongi Vice. But the other big event that's happening there is the bracket tournament for the new IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship, which is going to feature 8 competitors who've been announced. It's like I said, it's a bracket, so the first 4 matches are going to happen on night 1. The 4 matches are Hangman Page versus Jay Lethal, Juice Robinson versus Zack Sabre Jr., Tetsuya Naito versus Tomohiro Ishii, and Kenny Omega versus Michael Elgin. And then on night 2, you have the semifinal matches, and then the finals will also take place on night 2.
Kenny Omega versus Mike Elgin is going to be pretty damn great.
As is Naito versus Ishii.
Yes.
That's going to be... In fact, actually, I would say all of these quarterfinal matches will be great. Even Page and Lethal, because Hangman Page, I've been saying since Honor Rising that Hangman Page is on the rise and is rapidly upping his game. And I think he's going to start putting out some really special performances, and I think this is going to be one of them in a match against Jay Lethal here. Juice and ZSJ is going to be a fun, hard-hitting affair, because Juice is going to want some revenge for getting stuck in that octopus hold for a minute and losing out on the never open-weight 6-man belts at Dominion as a result of it. And then, obviously, Naito, Ishii, and Omega Elgin speak for themselves. So... and then the semifinals will be the winner of Omega Elgin versus the winner of Lethal Page. And then the other semifinal is the winner of Robinson Sabre versus the winner of Naito Ishii. So, just thinking about that, who do you think will win the first ever IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship title match?
Oh, I hate to say it, but Kenny Omega.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I think it's either
I think Kenny Omega.
I think it's either going to be Omega or Naito, and my gut tells me it's Omega, because I think they want to give Naito a long and storied run through the G1, leading to him winning it and main eventing at the Dome next year.
I think Naito is going to be graduating from the mid card. I think your main event. Remember, I think I said this a month ago that the main event was going to be Okada and Naito, and I'm sticking to that.
Yeah,
I think Naito's winning the G1, and I think Naito is going to Okada at the Dome.
See, I'm still thinking that it will end up being Omega Okada, but I mean Omega Naito. I think it will still end up being Omega Naito as the main event, but I could easily see it being Okada Naito as well. I just don't know who wins in either of those matches. I have no idea who wins, because like Omega and Naito are both over as fuck, but Okada is still the 200 million yen project. And I forget who it was, whether it was Rovi or if it was Dave, who tweeted this week that by comparison to WWE salaries, that Okada would easily, if Okada was getting his rate of pay in the WWE, he would be in the top 5.
Yeah, I think that was Dave. But either way, it's
it really does shed some light on why Okada is given the spot that he's given. Because I mean, we've talked about this before, how they lost Nakamura and Styles and Anderson and Gallows, and they had to scramble to lock up their guys, because I'm sure Okada was immediately like, the next guy in line to get targeted by WWE, and rightly so.
I'm sure,
given
he's 25,
what he's been doing.
At the time.
Yeah, he's 20. Yeah, he's 29 now, and easily one of the most well-rounded performers in the world, regardless of what anybody says. Easily one of the most well-rounded performers in the world. All right, Money in the Bank.
Pre-show, the Hype Brothers, the return of Woo Woo Woo.
You know it, bro.
Zack Ryder versus the Colognes, Primo and Epico. By the way, which one of them is getting fat? One of them's getting real fat.
I think it's Epico.
He looks like he ate Luke Harper.
He's always been the bigger of the two, and
but he's getting a little husky.
Yeah.
Maybe to lay off the carbs for a minute there, Epico.
Yeah. Instead of sunbathing down at your resort in Puerto Rico, actually go swimming.
Yeah. Swim for a little bit. It's good for you. Good total body workout. You need it. I think the Hype Bros are going to win. Whatever. Oh, yeah. I don't think they're. Or maybe if they're smart, they do the Mojo Rawley's cleaning house, and then Zack Ryder blind tag because he's so eager to get back in it, and then loses, which is the beginning of the dissension between the two of them.
I could see them doing that, and then turning Ryder heel, but I don't think that they do that
for the Ryder heel turn.
I don't think they do it right out the gate, though. I think that'll be later on.
2 weeks from now, or whatever.
Maybe whatever the September pay-per-view is for SmackDown.
Man, that's a long time.
I mean, I think that they might start it at Battleground next month. They might start it at Battleground with the loss, have the loss happen there. It's like because I think that actually is a more effective story. Is you have them go on like a winning streak there with Ryder's return, be like they're on top of the world. Have them challenge the Usos at Battleground and lose because of Ryder's eagerness, and then just send them on a losing streak that Ryder, gets delusional about, can't, accept the fact that he's the cause of it, and then he turns on Mojo.
I like it.
I think that would be a great story to tell. So of course WWE is not going to do it, but
No, they'll go the easy way because that's what they do.
Yeah, but we'll see. Since we're talking tag teams, we'll stick with tag teams next. The SmackDown Tag Team Championship match between the Usos and the New Day.
They're going to win, and I don't think they should, but they will, and I'll be sad.
I don't think so.
Really?
I think the Usos hold on to it right now.
Oh, that makes me happy. I'm happy now, Chris. Thank you.
Yeah, I think the Usos hang on to it because they have been on
I want you and I, when we get together in real life, to cut promos like the Usos. Get him!
God.
And you just start running on someone, and I'll just point, get him! And you just start going off. Get him! We got to do that.
We got to make it happen.
Let's do it.
It's going to be a thing.
We should do the entire podcast in Uso speak. I'll just yell, get him! And you just go like a string of consciousness, coke-fueled rage.
I don't know if I could keep that up for 90 minutes, but I'll try.
But they are great. I love them. I like everything about them.
Yeah.
I like their heel gimmick. I like their heel moveset. I like that they're thicker than they used to be. Like being fat works for them because they're street fighters now. It's pretty great. Yeah.
It works, and I think that that's why they stick with it, because they have been putting in the work, and the crowd is still with them. The crowd still is digging the gimmick, and I mean, as New Day, we've said
New
it time
Day will always
again.
be over.
New Day is always over. They don't need the titles, and it's right now not at a point where the titles need New Day either, because the tag team division on SmackDown has been the best part of the show. I mean, Breezango and
for the eventual Breezango and American Alpha feud.
Yeah, easily. I mean, they're really starting to put it together now. They're going to have 5 teams that are going to be really doing good storytelling, and then they've always got the Colognes and the Ascension as just backup jobbers. So I mean, it works.
Nothing wrong with that. You need guys.
Exactly. Yeah.
You need jobbers.
Yeah. 100%. So I can see though that the Usos will hold on to it here. I hope that they do. I really do. Now the match that I already have expelled my rage about. Although I do have one other thing.
Oh,
I have one other thing that I need to say about this.
I like rage
match.
In spite of your rage, you're still just a Chris in a cage.
I am in a cage about this one because there's nothing I can do to stop it from happening. But I'm still going to rage about it. Lana versus Naomi for the women's championship, and the thing I didn't get to talk about last week,
do tell.
When I raged on Lana, is my vitriol for the crowd in Rochester that night that were chanting, "We want." They want Lana. No, they don't want Lana. They want to sleep with Lana. That's all they want. And no, shut up. You don't need to have the sex appeal in the wrestling. My buddy Don Sal already covered it on Fizzy's Wacky World of Wrestling. They don't need the.
What are you doing with our show?
Yeah. You don't need the sex appeal in the wrestling. It doesn't need to be a thing in 2017. And Lana being anywhere near the title scene in 2017 is a fucking joke. No, crowd, you don't want Lana. Trust me on this. You don't want Lana. I swear to God, if the crowd on Sunday in St. Louis starts chanting "We want Lana," I am going to have another rant next week. But I'm thankful. I'm thankful for the crowd this week on SmackDown that absolutely buried Lana and we're chanting "We want Rusev" instead. So good for you.
Because Rusev is a great man.
Yeah, I may not like the gimmicks that they have had him be stuck with over the past 3 years, but Rusev is talented, and I wish that they would give him something better to do. But yeah, you don't want Lana. Don't ever say that you want Lana.
No,
because if you say you want Lana, you sound like a fucking dumbass.
Nobody wants to sound like a dumbass.
Yeah. I'm hoping to God that Naomi just squashes the shit out of Lana in 5 minutes, and that's the end of that. And that's the last we ever hear about this.
It's not going to happen, brother Chris. You don't debut somebody and have them get squashed. It doesn't happen that way.
I know. But hopefully, at least Naomi holds on to the belt.
Sure.
Because that's my hope. I hope that Naomi holds on to the belt and that Lana doesn't get her place in history as a champion in WWE because Lana doesn't deserve it. This bothers you. CJ Perry's a shit human being. I hate shitty human beings.
Everybody's a shitty human being. You don't hate Brock Lesnar, he's a shitty human being. You don't hate Randy Orton, he's a shitty human being. You don't hate John Cena, who cheated on his wife, he's a shitty human being.
Yeah, but
Lana... You're being worked, dude. You're working yourself into a shoot.
CJ Perry is a transphobic, weight-shaming piece of shit. I have good reason to hate.
I'm not saying it out. I grant your premise. I grant your premise that she's a shitty human being. But this is heat in 2017. This is heat. Do I want it to be this way? No. Do I want it to be the old ways? Yes. Old ways are good.
Stop being lazy, WWE, for the love of God.
Stop being lazy, but you know what? You go to war with the army you have, not the army you want. This is the army we have.
Anyway. Yeah, you're right, Matt. I don't want none of Lana.
I want some.
No, you don't.
Oh, except she would take a look and be like, "Curtain jerker, you're too fat. Get out." And then I would feel bad about myself.
Oh, God. Anyway, moving on.
Onward and upward. Women's Money in the Bank. This is going to be all sorts of fucking disastrous, by the way.
Oh, my God, it is. It's going to be terrible. My only hope is that Becky and Charlotte can manage to keep this match somewhat together and that James Ellsworth stays on the floor where he belongs. He won't, but,
I think Carmella wins this match. Darkest timeline, baby. Darkest timeline.
Me too. Me too.
Win this match.
It's probably going to end up being that James Ellsworth is holding onto somebody's ankles outside the ring while Carmella climbs the ladder. because that's what we've come to in WWE in 2017.
What do you mean? Managers have interfered in matches. Whoa! Don't say that. No. I'm going to call you out because when what's his name? When fucking Precious Paul Ellering did the exact same thing in the match.
Yeah.
You said
but that.
Blocked. So
but that's Paul Ellering, not James Ellsworth. James Ellsworth.
Manager. You want your manager to be a snivelly, whiny little bastard. That's the point.
Yeah, but I want the snivelly, whiny little bastard who isn't going to make my eardrums bleed. James Ellsworth makes my eardrums bleed every time he talks.
Heat, baby. Heat.
Good managers are Paul Ellering and Paul Heyman. Bad managers are James Ellsworth.
Yeah.
I'm with JBL. He is like a fucking worm. This is the only time I'll ever agree with JBL on something. He looks like a goddamn worm.
I love that we raved about New Japan for an hour, and now we're talking about Money in the Bank, and the only thing we can get through this show is by talking about these auxiliary characters who don't matter, like James Ellsworth and Lana.
Oh, God.
This is where we are at the company. They have more talent now than they had at any point since the end of the Attitude Era.
And arguably even more than that. Even more than...
I don't know. I don't go that far. That's a little bit too far. But I'll say more talent than they had since like 2004. And like when The Rock and Austin retired full time. And they're giving us James fucking Ellsworth.
Yeah.
This is where we are as a company, ladies and gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
James Ellsworth is a featured player. Speaking of jobbers who are featured players, Jinder Mahal versus Randy Orton.
No.
No. Our boy Don Sell has been saying it for 2 weeks. You can polish a turd all you want, but it's still a fucking turd, dude.
Yeah.
Jinder Mahal's not good at professional wrestling. I don't care what kind of presentation you have. Can you imagine if they went through this presentation with someone who wasn't garbage?
Yeah, and we've talked about it how many times in the daily that the WWE star making machine only works for one person at a time. And that's why we have Shinsuke Nakamura being presented as just another guy, and Jinder fucking Mahal is getting the golden standard treatment. It's fucking abysmal.
I hate this company sometimes. I hate this company all the time.
Yeah, I will say this though: the guy knows how to take an RKO really fucking well.
Yeah, he does. That was pretty great. I will give him props for that.
That was one of the only moments.
Funny you should say a jobber knows how to job. Yeah. This is the only thing he's good at.
It was one of the only moments that I enjoyed from that this week's episode of SmackDown. Funny story also relating to Jinder Mahal.
Oh, I like stories. Story time with Chris is a great little gimmick.
It's a short one, but while I was looking up the history behind the match of the week that you gave me, I was looking up Yoshitatsu because it was like, this was his big return. And I looked and I saw, he was released along with a whole bunch of other people on that fateful day in 2014. Among them, such luminaries who are back with the company as Jinder Mahal, Kurt Hawkins, and the only guy of that group who actually was worth anything, Drew McIntyre. Actually, no. Because there is one other person from that group who was released who actually is worth something, and that would be Camacho, who you now know better as Tangaloa. But that is besides the point. But yeah, that fateful day of WWE when all those people were released, and now so many of them are back with the company because WWE is trying to monopolize wrestling. Why? That's a debate for another day because we
have New Japan. I'm happy.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully Kadani and Geto are able to successfully implant themselves into the U.S. so that Vince actually has to start doing work again. But
yeah,
we'll see.
Who's going to win this match?
I think Jinder sticks with it, and then we get a short John Cena Jinder Mahal program because John Cena fights for America. By the way, I'm actually going to go find this now on YouTube because this was one of the greatest things I've ever seen. But the lead up to WrestleMania 31, when John Cena showed up on the Jimmy Kimmel show, he cut on the Jimmy Kimmel show. He cut a promo on Rusev that may be one of the best things I've ever seen anybody do ever. It was incredible, and like It's funny as shit. It's the funniest fucking thing I've ever heard John Cena do. But he delivers it just full on serious.
I love it.
Just completely, straight talk. And it's complete nonsense, but it's hilarious, and I love it. And find it. You really got. I'm going to post. I'm going to find the link to it.
I'll watch it.
We'll definitely watch it because it is fantastic.
I'll say this: I hate Jinder Mahal. I love the Singh brothers. They're good heels.
Yeah,
I like little. I love little
work.
snivelly dickbag heels. Makes me happy.
Yeah, they're doing good work. They're doing really good work.
They are good doing.
I mean,
combined they weigh 130 pounds, but that's okay.
And they also are able to sell to sell finishers really well.
Yeah, that one guy's dead from being thrown on the table.
Yeah, that was
the gimmick of wearing matching bright colored shirts. I don't know why, but I do. It's a very heel move.
It is.
Matching bright colored shirts. I like it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
The Singh brothers are better than Jinder, I'd posit.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
All right, men's Money in the Bank, and then we'll say our goodbyes.
Yeah. So
Owens versus AJ versus Baron Corbin versus Sami Zayn versus Dolph Ziggler versus Nakamura Shinsuke.
Yep.
What you got?
I'm taking Nakamura. Yeah, I'm taking Nakamura here.
Oh.
I am.
Oh.
I am very much believing that Nakamura is going to take the win here and be Mr. Money in the Bank, and I think that makes sense, honestly, because they need to do something to actually prove that he's worth the hype, because he has been.
If they had the stones, they would have Jinder win and Nakamura cash in on him right after.
Yeah, they need to present him as somebody worthy of the title of the artist known as Shinsuke Nakamura.
If they had the sack, the sack, they would have Jinder. The brothers would be taken out by Orton, dead. Mm-hmm. Jinder would win dirty. Either would win. Nakamura would come in, cash, Kinshasa, 1, 2, 3. Show ends with him standing there on the apron, holding the belt.
Yeah. And then we get Nakamura Styles at SummerSlam. That's the dream.
And that's when I fly to New York.
Yeah.
Hang out with you.
Even though SummerSlam is sold out, we'll still hang out and watch.
Money, make it happen. We'll tailgate outside. I don't give a shit. We'll watch it on our phones in the parking lot. Just be in the area.
Yeah.
We were doing it live. 2 guys, 1 sport from your.
Yeah. We'll do a live report from the Barclays Center.
From the parking lot. Would be great.
There actually is no parking lot at the Barclays Center, and we couldn't broadcast from the garage because the garage is underground. But we could always go up to the Sky Bridge across the street that connects the Target to the Stop and Shop. So there's always that.
Well, sure, yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah. Fizzy actually asked a good question because there's been rumors floating around that Maria Kanellis and Mike Bennett are on their way back to SmackDown. He's asking if Maria shows up at the pay-per-view, and my gut says no, that she's going to show up on Tuesday instead. But that's that is what it is. I mean, Maria Kanellis.
I think Corbin wins the match. By the way.
Yeah, it's either Corbin or not.
I am pro knock. Believe me, I am all in on the King of Strong Style. Yeah. But I think Corbin wins the match.
It's either Corbin or knock, and my gut says knock. But I mean, Corbin is the other one that makes the most sense.
I'd be much happier with Nakamura than Baron Corbin. Much. Mm-hmm. Baron Corbin does not much for me unless he's on Talking Smack.
Yeah.
That is great.
I mean, yeah. The only it's either going to be Nakamura wins and goes and takes the title from Jinder almost immediately, or Corbin wins, cashes in on somebody after SummerSlam, and moves on to facing Owens for the U.S. title.
Ugh.
And I don't know what AJ Styles is doing during all this, but that's why I hope Nakamura wins, because Knock Styles is the money program, and I think they need to run that at SummerSlam.
I think they need to say that for Mania.
I mean, yeah, but they need to have something for SmackDown to do to compete against Raw.
Do they really?
Well, yeah, because Raw it's either going to be Brock Joe or Brock Braun, and either one of those programs
are awesome.
Yeah, but they eclipse almost everything that SmackDown has to offer, except for Styles knock. Unless you go Cena knock, which would be that's a WrestleMania program. Cena Nakamura is a WrestleMania program that will next year or the year after. But either way, I think they're gonna have to do Styles knock at SummerSlam.
I think it's too soon. I'd be happy for it, but I think it's too soon.
It might be, but I mean, yeah, it could be a WrestleMania program too. You are correct in that regard, but I still don't know unless they are still dead set on this whole idea that Raw is the flagship show and needs to be presented as superior.
What do you John Cena's a free agent?
Yeah, like, and that still just irks me in a lot of other ways, but we'll talk about that another time. So yeah, that's Money in the Bank.
Excited for the show?
No. It's like of the things I could be watching instead. I mean, well, there's not much I could be watching instead, but like of the things they could be doing on this show instead, like there's so many better ways to go about this. But whatever. WWE is going to WWE. I have more excitement at this point for TakeOver. I actually have more excitement for the next few weeks of NXT than I do for.
Yeah, we haven't talked about NXT in a while. We got to have an NXT deep dive soon.
Yeah, because we had an insane episode of NXT this week, this past week, and next week is looking to be pretty ridiculous as well.
Yes, and then the week after we have that last woman standing match.
Yeah. So it's like the entire month of June for NXT has been like aces, all down. Like
yeah, it has.
Like last week. Fantastic episode. This week, fantastic episode. Next week looks great. The week after that looks amazing. It's just they're holding all the aces. It's terrible because like NXT is just so much better than the main roster right now, and like a third of the number of people, if that, are seeing it. The yellow brand deserves better.
It does.
Oh yeah. So next week we're gonna talk recap of Money in the Bank. We'll preview Evolve 86 and 87, and if any more women get announced for the Mae Young Classic, because the first 4 were announced today. If any more get announced between today and next Friday, we will talk about that as well. And anything else that happens that we feel like addressing. Yeah.
See you in 1 week, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with us on a Friday night. We appreciate it. Now go watch some CLL.
Yeah, and don't forget all of the other excellent podcast creators that we have on CageSideSeats.com. The Not Your Demographic with Stunning Stella Cheeks and the enigmatic Aaron Klein. Rooter Radio with Mark Normandin and his co-host, whose name I can't remember right now. I'm very sorry, guys, but limited information.
With SmackDown recapper Andrew Swift and damsel extraordinaire Tanya Rogers.
Yep, and our buddies at Fizzy's Wacky World of Wrestling, which also happens on Fridays. 14 Fitzpatrick and Sal Cusmano. They advertise during the day. We have the evenings. Make sure you listen to both of our shows because they rock, and I like to think that we rock a little bit.
And we rock, they rock, and all of our listeners rock.
Yeah.
You guys make this worthwhile. We love hanging out with you. Thanks again.
Yeah.
This has been George
and Chris
signing off. 2 guys, 1 sport. As always, don't be like Brother Chris and work yourself into a shoot.
I'm sorry.
I love it. Heat, baby. Real goddamn heat.
Yeah. Not meta heat.
Not meta heat. Real heat.
And remember, John Cena fights for America. Good night, everybody.
John Cena fights for America. Good night, everybody. Thanks again. See you in 1 week.